Hey guys, this is Gabriel Price. Before the video starts, I want to share a quick message with this YouTuber who gave me a shout out about the insult Nunu video. 1, I realized how insulting it would be, so I scrapped it. So yeah, 2, I don't mean to be mean on the internet. I just want to teach Nunu a lesson for what he did to the Teletubbies. 3, if you want to know okay, whoever's watching this, if you're the person who gave me this shout out, if you're wondering what Nunu did to the Teletubbies, you're gonna find out soon enough. Well, this is a 4th thing. 4, this is the origin story of my series that I created called Slendytubbies, The Return of Nunu. An AU about Teletubbies get cured with an antidote and a secret weapon that I share called the Custard Gun that shoots custard with an antidote in it that can cure any Teletubby that is infected. So yeah, this origin of Slendytubbies The Return of Nunu is the darkest origin yet. So yeah, Slendytubbies is a horror game, is a Slender parody horror game created by Sean Tolman. He's the creator of Slendytubbies. It came out back in 2012. So yeah, and without further ado, let's get on with the video. This is the origin of Slendytubbies, The Return of Nunu. Slendytubbies is created by Sean Tolman and ZeoWorks. ZeoWorks is a company that created the Slender parody horror game called Slendytubbies. Here's how the story goes. The story starts with Po at the lake all by herself enjoying the view. Po seems to be enjoying the view. That is until that Nunu has came along. Nunu has asked Po what she was doing out here all by herself. Po tells Nunu that she is enjoying the view. And she also tells Nunu that the view is beautiful. Nunu, however, what he sees is danger, and that he tells Po that he is not waterproof. Po reminded Nunu that they should get him a raincoat. Nunu thought that would be practical. Nunu ordered Po to return home because he thought that the other Teletubbies were worried about her. Po asked Nunu to come with her home, but then Nunu says that he'll stay to enjoy the view. And the two said goodbye to each other, and that Nunu assured Po that he'll be home soon. He is curious to hear what the Teletubbies are up to. When Po returned home, she ran into Tinky Winky, who was overjoyed to see Po. Tinky Winky tells Po that he is hungry for Tubby Custard. Po agrees, she tells Tinky Winky that they should go inside for Tubby Custard. But then, before they could enter, Tinky Winky tells Po that something was wrong with Lala. Lala has been acting very strange. Po asks Lala what was wrong and why she was so sad. Lala tells Po that she had a bad dream about her and the other Teletubbies and bad things that were happening to them, but she couldn't remember what they were. Po assured Lala that it was all a dream and that there was nothing to worry about. Po then asked Lala if she was in the mood to play with her ball, but Lala, however, was not in the mood to play with her ball. The two Teletubbies, except Lala, who decided to stay out for a few minutes, entered the Tubbytronic Superdome, but as Po was about to head over to the Tubby Custard machine, when she tried to turn it on, it didn't work. So she went over to the power to turn the Tubby Custard machine on. And before Po could go to turn on the Tubby Custard, she saw Dipsy sitting on the tubby slide. Po greets Dipsy and Dipsy greets her back. Po asks Dipsy if he has found his hat yet, but unfortunately, Dipsy could not find his hat, and he can't even remember how or when he lost it. Po assured Dipsy that he'll eventually find his hat. Po then went over to the tubby custard machine, but as Po was about to turn on the tubby custard broke down, with smoke erupting from it. Po then rushed over to the toolbox and then brought the toolbox to the tubby custard machine. When the tubby custard machine was fixed, she made tubby custard for herself, Tinky Winky, Lala, and even Dipsy. 10 hours have passed ever since they had tubby custard, and all the Teletubbies were asleep. All except for Po. She was having trouble sleeping. When suddenly, Po hears creaking from somewhere. She then wakes up, only to see Tinky Winky at the tubby custard machine. In a fit of rage, Tinky Winky breaks the tubby custard machine which Po had fixed. He then left the house without a trace. Po then wakes up Lala to go after Tinky Winky and bring him home. Po grabs a flashlight and Lala tags along. They all search high and low for Tinky Winky, but so far, no luck. Po then went to the right side to find Tinky Winky. But then, something strange seems to happen. Po finds a bowl of tubby custard lying on the ground, and Po is wondering how the bowl got there. She wasn't sure if Tinky Winky left that custard there for a reason. She then decides to head to the lake to see if Lala or Tinky Winky were okay. But unfortunately, they were not okay. Tinky Winky has his back turned towards Po, and Tinky Winky wouldn't respond to Po at first. Then Po noticed Lala on the ground dead. Her eyes were gouged out, and her fur was covered in blood. Po couldn't believe her eyes. Po asked Tinky Winky if he was okay, but unfortunately, Tinky Winky wasn't okay. Po then ran away from the now called psychotic Tinky Winky. Po then ran all the way home to the Tubby Dome. When she got back to the house, she found Dipsy, but Dipsy was not found alive. Dipsy is found with his head decapitated and placed on the tubby slide, with his body on the ground bloodied. Po then decided to evacuate Tubbyland to find somewhere safe. But unfortunately, Tinky Winky was catching up to Po, and the red Teletubby was done for. Guardian then tried to contact the satellite station to gather up the infected custards to find out what went wrong, but to no avail. Guardian had lost signal to his monitor, and that he can't even contact the satellite station, so he decided to go outside to the satellite station by himself. But before he could go to get his night vision camera, the door was sealed. He then went to an area with pipes and with valves. Guardian then pulled every single valve until it went to the red zone of the dial. After turning a set of valves, Guardian then went over to a pipe with a valve that opens the door, which led to the control room. Guardian then went to the control room and pressed a button to get his night vision camera from the storage room. Guardian then finds his night vision camera, but as he was about to leave, the lights in his secret lair went dark. He turned on his night vision camera, but what he saw next nearly made him fall to the ground. There, walking in the hallway, was a mysterious creature. It kind of looked like a Teletubby, but with no fur, no eyes, no fur, no eyes, and no arms. Just a walking, armless, furless, eyeless Teletubby walking around the secret lair. Guardian then decides to hide behind a few crates to hide from the mysterious creatures. Guardian then managed to get to the exit and climb to the surface. After climbing out to the surface, Guardian finds the first custard. And after he grabbed the first custard, he went to get the next one. He was running around the area, but with a deranged Tinky Winky lurking around Tubbyland. After Guardian has collected a few more custards, he then bumped into the deranged Tinky Winky, who just ate an infected custard and became a huge monstrosity. Guardian then rushes over to the cave and decides to take shelter there. But unfortunately, Guardian was not alone. Guardian has ran into a new threat in the cave. And that was the Cave Tubby. The Cave Tubby was lurking around this cave. And Guardian had to find a way out before it could catch him and kill him. Guardian was running around this weird labyrinth. He was trying to look for a way out, but so far, no luck. Then, after escaping from the cave, Guardian finds himself in a huge canyon. He then climbs out of the canyon to climb to the surface into the outskirts. He then went into an area with ruins, but then Guardian was faced with another challenge. Guardian was faced with another challenge. There was a mutated Lala lurking around the outskirts. Guardian then managed to Lala, after Guardian has collected 8 custards in the outskirts, Lala has been blocking the exit. Guardian then decided to use a rock to hit the pillars so that they could collapse on Lala. Guardian then throws the rock at the pillar, which triggers the mutated Lala. The pillars collapse on top of Lala. Unfortunately, the mutant Lala was still alive. Guardian then decides to put the mutant Lala out of her misery. After putting her out of her misery, Guardian set off. He then went over to the satellite station and he finally made it. He has pulled a few levers and he managed to open the doors. But unfortunately, there was no one there alive. There were dead bodies everywhere in the satellite station. Guardian then bumps into a surviving engineer called Ron, a blue Teletubby who works in the satellite station and is an engineer of the satellite station. Ron tells Guardian that there is a green monster which was supposedly Dipsy with no head, has a chainsaw covered in blood, and it was nothing like Ron has ever seen before. Guardian then heads to the vents, but then unfortunately, Ron wasn't so lucky. A mutated Dipsy has caught up to Ron, and the blue engineer Teletubby was done for. After finding a key card, Guardian bumps into a headless, bloody Dipsy with a chainsaw chasing after him. Guardian then decided to evacuate the satellite station to get away from the mutant. He ran down the hallway with the mutant Dipsy chasing after him. He jumps over the laser. Dipsy, on the other hand, wasn't so lucky. He tried to catch up to Guardian, but was hit by the laser. Guardian then takes the mutant Dipsy's chainsaw for defense. He then finds Nunu, who is responsible for this whole incident of the custard. Nunu explains to Guardian that he is the one responsible for this whole mutation. Nunu explains to Guardian that he manages to create an army of newborns to take over Tubbyland. Guardian could not let him do this, but then he wasn't able to stop him, so the blue vacuum escaped. Then something even the most worst shocking happened. A voice trumpet who was implanted from the ground has a large robotic body with a projectile blaster on his left hand and a robotic hand on the right. Guardian then battles the giant monstrosity, and the giant announcer robot is defeated. Guardian then ran out of the satellite station to stop Nunu, and Nunu tells Guardian that there is nothing he can do about this whole mutation. And he tells Guardian that the machines are making mistakes when creating Teletubbies, and that they are creating an army of newborns that are flooding the lands, infecting all life as we speak. Guardian then orders a mutated Poe to kill Guardian. Guardian struggled to keep fighting, and he manages to be staying alive. But unfortunately, the mutated Poe has killed the Guardian, and the white Teletubby was done for. There will be one day in this story where I am involved in this story and I'll be curing the Teletubbies with an antidote, but that's another story for a different day.